Well, see, we are continuing today, Meretz Hashem and Maseches Peah, Perek Vav, Mishnayos Aleph and Beis, the 6th chapter, and the 1st and 2nd Mishnayos. So Mishnah Aleph says as follows, the first Mishnah, Beis Shammai Omrim, an interesting case, Hefker la'aniyim Hefker. So we're dealing now with the following situation. The Bartanura says, Misha Hefker la'aniyim velo la'ashirim. Let's say someone made his property, his grain, we'll call it. He made it ownerless. But interestingly enough, he made it ownerless with a stipulation, specifically that it should only be ownerless for the poor, but not ownerless for the wealthy. So if you're poor, this produce is ownerless, you could take it. But if you're wealthy, you're not allowed to touch it. So what's the halacha? Beis Shammai says it works. Beis Shammai says that even this type of conditional type of hefker, only hefker for one type of segment, ultimately works. So Beis Hillel says no. Eino hefker ad sheyufkar av la'ashirim kishmita. Beis Hillel says no. The concept of hefker, by definition, means ownerless without conditions. That by definition, one abdicates all ownership over a particular item. And that's manifest in the fact that now the item is accessible and acquirable by anyone and everyone. And therefore, Beis Hillel says, halacha l'maisa, if at the end of the day the produce is only acquirable by the poor, but not by the rich, then halacha l'maisa, that's not called hefker. And he brings the raya, brings the proof by shmita. Shmita is the paradigmatic example of hefker, of ownerless produce. And what happens by shmita? Shmita, the produce in the field, is accessible to everyone. Kol amri hasada shal ksamachlogis Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Kol amri hasada shal kav kav ve'echad shal arba'as kabin ushechacho. So another interesting case. Let's say a person's bundling their grain, and the size of each bundle is 1 kav. A kav is a measurement. And you happen to have one bundle that's 4 kabin. So you have one bundle that's 4 times the size of the other bundles. And now what happens? You forget the large bundle. You forget the 4 kav bundle. So the shaila is this shechacha? Beis Shammai omrim eno shechacha. Beis Shammai says this is not called shechacha. Now this is interesting. Beis Shammai's logic is like this. Since this one bundle is so much larger than the other bundles, by definition, you're not going to come to forget it. Even if you forgot it momentarily, there's no way you're going to forget it in a prolonged state, because at the end of the day, it's so much larger than anything else you have. So Beis Shammai therefore says it's not shechacha, but Beis Hillel says no, the size of the bundle doesn't really matter. If you forgot it, you forgot it, and therefore that is called shechacha. So two really fascinating machloks and two disputes between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel in this first Mishnah. Mishnah Beis Ha'omer shu samuch lagafa v'lagadish labakar v'lakelim ushechacha. So now a very interesting case. You have a bundle of wheat, and you forgot the bundle of wheat next to these items. So again, the definition of these things is lagafa. Gafa is a wall. Gadish is a pile of grain. Bakar or kelim means cattle, right? Or utensils that are used for farming. Ushchacho. So you forgot the bundle by one of these things. Now the idea over here is as follows. You forgot the bundle by what we'll call, for lack of a better term, a landmark. In other words, that at the end of the day, you forgot it by something significant. And because the item is significant, ultimately you're going to be drawn back to this location. So you forgot it by a wall. You forgot it by a pile of grain. You forgot it by your cattle. You forgot it by your farming tools. So these are things where you are going to inevitably come back to this area. So therefore the shaila is, does this type of forgetfulness constitute halachic shechacha? Beis Shammai omrim eno shechacha. Beis Shammai says halacha l'maisa, this is not called shechacha. And the logic being what? The logic being that halacha l'maisa, because you're going to be drawn back to this area. Because when you draw back to this area, we know you're going to quote-unquote discover the bundle again. And therefore, halacha l'maisa, it's not shechacha. Beis Hillel say no, shechacha. Beis Hillel, on the other hand, say no, that halacha l'maisa, this is called shechacha as well. So you see, by the way, it's a continuation of the previous Mishnah, because in the previous Mishnah, we had a situation where normally your bundles are 1 kav. You made one very large 4 kav bundle, and you forgot the 4 kav bundle. So Beis Shammai essentially says, since you're going to be drawn back, right, you're not going to forget about such a big bundle, it's not called shechacha. Beis Shammai says in this Mishnah, if you forgot the bundle by some type, we'll call it a landmark, something significant inside of the field, you're not going to forget about that type of bundle. Whereas Beis Hillel essentially says, forgetting is forgetting. forgetting is forgetting. So whether you forgot the 4-kav bundle, even though it's 4 times bigger than anything else you have in the field, or you forgot it by one of the landmarks, if you forget it, halacha l'maisa, that is called shechicha. Excellent. All right, Shkayach Rabban, we'll stop over here for today. Meretz will continue on Sunday with Gimel and Dalid. Wishing everyone a wonderful day and a good Shabbos.